I'm Ken Edwards, originally born down in mid-Devon, so I lived in a very rural area where I suppose wildlife was my main interest. Fishing was one of the things I did. Yeah, in terms of beekeeping, I started way back in 1976, and then I kept one little hive, and it grew from there really until the friend next door and I had too many hives for the garden. So we looked around, and he was delivering a baby over at Gothurst and saw this little plot of ground, came back and told me about it, and we pursued it further. This is what we call an out apiary, and in fact I own this, well the bees do. We used to rent it from the church for £1 of honey a hive, and then discovered that they were prepared to sell it, and there was enough honey money in the pot to pay for this little plot. So the bees own it. And as it is at the moment, we've got the shed, which is for equipment, and up at the top there you'll see some new hives. At the moment there are 16 colonies of bees, 12 of mine, and 4 of them are being rented. The new ones belong to new beekeepers who come in once a fortnight. We mentor them as to how to keep their bees, and then at the end of the year they take the bees away and they become theirs. And if you look around the corner, you'll see there is a lot. And we're now at the stage, you can see the one with the number 1 on it, the green one, that's a feeder. And the bees are being fed, ready to go through the winter. And this little spot I've had well over 25 years now, and it's just an apiary. This is going into the shed to be stored for the winter. As you can see, look, there's one on my thumb, and because I'm not being aggressive, it's not being aggressive with me. It's walked back on the comb, decided it's far more important to clean up the honey. And what will happen is that the new site will be a bigger version of this, with more hives, better access, and owned, well, leased by the local beekeepers group, as opposed to it being me owning this one. We started, originally 2 or 3 of us were members of the Taunton Beekeepers group, and we were on the committee, and then we discovered that this was an area that was not very well served in terms of beekeepers having an opportunity to learn about bees and kind of get to know each other well. So we set up a new group called the Quantock Beekeepers Association. 3 people. Philip Jago, he was the doctor who lived next door to me that I learnt beekeeping from, and Nick Wills, who works at Bridgwater College, and myself. We were the 3 main movers behind it. And we approached Bridgwater School, went to the headmaster there and asked him if he would like to have a beekeeping club. Within 2 years we got that flourishing. The honey money that we've raised at the open days has more than paid for all his equipment, so it's in profit now. And in return for us running this beekeeping club, we were allowed to use the school and the apiary we taught the lads in for teaching adults. So we flourished, and we're up to a group of 70 full beekeepers and 30 odd people who are interested in beekeeping but haven't yet got bees. And the apiary that we use at Bridgwater is now not big enough to teach all the adults in, although we'll still use the classrooms in the winter for teaching beekeeping. So now we're moving to this new apiary, and all we did was, I just looked around, I guess, and saw a site which I thought might be reasonable, approached the farmer, and this plot of 3/4 of an acre is actually an old landfill site. So it's on a rubbish tip, although it's graded now, and behind it is a 20-acre landfill site still. And we've leased it. We're laying it out with bees and all the equipment, and we've approached all of the kind of natural bodies, a Lark, Bridgwater College, QAONB, Somerset Beekeepers. All of them have contributed money, so we have all the money we need to lease the apiary, to lay it out, to do it at a high standard, and also have an agricultural store there where all the equipment can be housed. So it'll be self-sufficient, but because it's on the edge of Bridgwater, very, very close to the population. As it stands now, just 10 days back we had this fencing put in, and we've got the hard standings for 2 gates, one here and another one on the far side. And there's going to be a road go right into a hut in the corner, and the road it's going to be completely covered with the wood chip that the tree surgeons cut down. So we have one of our members is a forester, and when he gets a spare lorry load of these chips, he comes in and dumps it, and it'll be a track right back through. So in the corner is going to be a store for beekeeping equipment. This is all wildflower, and in the far corner over here is a wildlife pool, so that the insects can drink and the birds will come down, and the birds are in the wood behind. Insects here for the birds to eat as well, of course, and the whole thing will become a nature centre. When we were exploring the site, we found these 2 rolls hidden in the hedge, which someone had dumped. One of them is an underfelt for a carpet, and the other one is a plastic membrane. The underfelt for the carpet is going to be the layer under the slabs when they're laid, which are going to have the hive stands. That's going to be done in 10 days' time. And the plastic membrane is in the wildlife pool to create a very strong liner. Right around the edge is going to be a 5-metre freeway where we can drive tractors around for the hedge trimming. And in the middle of here are going to be little oases of slabs with about 4 or 5 hives on each. So it's going to be 4 or 5 little areas like that, with walkways made of the chipping. And all of these plants here, this is borage and that's a form of daisy. They're all of them nectar-friendly plants for bees. This was planted the day before drought was declared, and then it rained forever, so it grew brilliantly. When we were up here, it was just full of butterflies that had come in just the past few months already. It's quite a place. We're having an agricultural hut in the corner, which will give us space to be able to store everything that we need in terms of beekeeping, keep it secure, and at the same time be able to have groups meet, come out from there, use the equipment, and then put it back again. And it'll be like a beekeeping teaching centre. And of course the advantage to Cannington College is they're just 2 miles that way, so we're just on their doorstep and they're quite keen. And the whole idea of that is that as that develops, the public will come in, we'll have open days, we will have events county-wide which people will come to, where they will have sufficient bees to be able to learn on. Because as I said, so few people have got a large quantity of hives, and there we'll have, I would expect, at least 20. So we can have a number of beekeepers in, teach them how to handle bees properly on our bees, then they go home and practice on their own. So what's happened is that I've moved from keeping one little hive of bees to everything I've done has been like a culmination of all the things I've done in the past. The teaching, the practical bits, the looking after the bees. It's as if they've all come together in one thing, which is about beekeeping.